would like to call the meeting to order. Daniel, roll call, please.
President Mrs. Say,
Present?
Vice President Mr. Nishii,
Present.
Clerk Mr. Noyola,
Present.
Board Member Mr. Beach,
Present.
Board Member Dr. Eugenio,
Here.
Board Member Dr. Rios,
Present.
Board Member Mrs. Yu.
Here.
Thank you.
This evening, we'll be discussing the following items in closed section: public employee discipline, dismissal, release, evaluation, the mid-year superintendent evaluation update, and 6 matters, government code number 54957. Conference with labor negotiator, update on negotiations with ABCFT, AFSCME, and CSEA, government code 54957.6. Anticipated litigation, conference with legal counsel, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9 D2 E1, 1 matter, student discipline, deliberation on student expulsion, case number 2324-8 pursuant to Education Code section 4A900A1 and 4A900A2. Deliberation on student exposure, case number 2324-9 pursuant to Education Code section 4A900A1 and 4A900A2. Are there any public comments on the closing section item?
I do not see any.
Well, may I have a closed section? We're going to go to closed section. May I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So the motion passed 7-0. Thank you, 7-0. This evaluation update and 6 matters. Government Code number 54957. The Conference with Labor Negotiator update on negotiation with ABCFT, AFSCME, and CSEA. Government Code 54957.6. Anticipated litigation, conference with legal counsel, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9 D2 E1 one matter. The student discipline. May I have a motion and second that board review and accept the recommendation for exposure in student based on violation of Education Code Section 48900A1 and 48900A2 pursuant to to stipulated terms and adopt the recommended rehabilitation plan. The board sets its regular meeting on December 2024 as anticipated date on which the board will review the student for readmission. Can I have a motion and second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
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 The motion passes 7-0. May I have a motion? Oh, yeah, okay. May I have a motion and second that the board review and accept the recommendation for exposure in student expulsion case 2324-9 and orders the student expelled based on violation of Education Code Section 48900A1, 48900A2, pursuant to the stipulated terms and adopt the recommended rehabilitation plan. The board sets its regular meeting of December 2024 as the anticipated date on which the board will review the student for readmission. May I have a motion and second?
Motion to accept, Eugenio.
I need a second. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0. Now we have I believe we have a student from Stoward Elementary School to lead us the Pledge of Allegiance. Are they here? The door, huh? Maybe the door's closed. Is it gonna be the dance or not?
Yes.
That's Francisco's book.
Oh.
This book?
I
Yeah.
understand.
Not the other one.
请起立，
Please stand.
眼睛眼睛哦，眼睛眼睛看过去，
Face the flag.
右手放在心上，
Put your right hand over your heart.
准备开始。
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
请坐。
Please be seated. Good evening, President Say, distinguished board members, Superintendent Dr. Zlode, and cabinet members. We are the elected officers for the student body ambassadors. I'm Chantel Kakuya, Stowers president.
I'm Irene Song, Vice President.
I'm Maddie Castellanos, Secretary.
And I'm Braden Gakuya, Spirit Leader. We are joined by our principal, Mrs. Miller, our ambassador advisors, Mrs. Abala and Mrs. Tom, and our Mandarin enrichment teacher, Ms. Deckard.
Thank you for this opportunity to share about Stars Elementary and our upcoming Lunar New Year assembly. As you know, this is our inaugural year with dual immersion Mandarin kindergarten class. We also began to learn Mandarin during our weekly enrichment class. We wanted to showcase our Chinese language and culture learning, so our Lunar New Year assembly was the perfect opportunity. This Friday morning at 7:55 a.m., we will highlight a dragon procession by all of our TK and kindergarteners. A fan dance by our 6th graders, which was choreographed by Miss Cindy Yen Chen, the director of Cerritos Chinese School, a Lunar New Year songs performed by our Mandarin Dual Immersion kindergarten class, and a special lion dance by our Northern Shaolin Kung Fu Association. This assembly is funded by our amazing PTA.
Did you know that Lunar New Year marks the first moon in the lunar calendar? This year, Lunar New Year begins on February 10 and lasts for 15 days. This holiday is often celebrated by Chinese, South Korean, Vietnamese, Singaporean, Malaysian, Filipino, and Indonesian cultures. Lunar New Year is also the biggest holiday in Asian culture. Lunar New Year's purpose is to honor your household heavenly deities and ancestors. Lunar New Year has a myth of the 12 animals, and it originates from an ancient Chinese poem telling the story of the 12 mythical animals which descended from the heavens to help people celebrate the coming of spring and a new crop.
This year, we celebrate the dragon. A tradition that children love is when their elders give the younger generation a red envelope filled with money. As a sign of respect, the child will bow and accept the envelope with both hands. We wish you a happy new year. 新年快乐. As requested by Board President Say, our 6th graders would like to present a fan dance for you to the song 光年好, which means have a good new year. May we leave you a small gift of lucky candy and fortune cookies.
I asked my colleague if you can, on your table, you have the red envelope. We can give 3. You give 3, I'll give one special one to one of the lucky one here. So give 3 to, one, each student give it 3. Lucky one. Who does it? Okay, you gave it already, so, okay. Then we have one more. No, student only get 1. Sorry. And we also, because we have a teachers comes here, so we have 3 teachers here, right? So, I know, did you give it to already? Who hasn't? Did you give it to it? Sue, you and I. And then Michael will give to our staff here. Oh, okay. 3. Yes. So 3, right? And no, that's mine. No, that's mine, right? No, that one to them too. This one. Yeah. This one to them too. Take it out. Take the, no. Let me see. That one. Let me see. It's a different gift.
What's the difference?
I cannot tell you. Surprise! A little different. Do you guys know what red envelope mean? Yes? Can somebody tell me?
It's a tradition that, hold up, sorry.
I know you read about.
It's a tradition that children love is when elders give the younger generation a red envelope filled with money. As a sign of respect, the child will bow and accept the envelope with both hands.
Yeah. Money actually is later on we bring because we don't want to give the empty envelope. But the red one really means the best luck. To the student, once you have the best education. To the parent, want the best health. And to the grandkids, we will say healthy. That was the reason in Chinese culture. But I really love the way you say in Chinese, because I can understand you must be speak real well. Yeah, I like to give my board colleague, do you have any comment to share? Number 3, board clock, Mr. Noyola.
Thank you, President Say. Actually, I just wanted to thank the Stowers Elementary. I actually had the opportunity to go visit their school today. And even though it was raining, fortunately Stowers has like all their classes connected, so it's a very unique facility. But it is a fully immersed class. They are singing, they are reading, they are writing, they're doing math in Mandarin traditional, and then after 3rd grade, they're learning simplified Mandarin. And I can say walking into that campus, it's like you're walking into another world. So, thank you guys for performing today. You guys did a great job. I also want to thank the teachers, our Mandarin teachers. They're great. Our students are, like you just mentioned, they speak Mandarin fluently. And I also want to thank our PTA for, bringing all the extra programs and initiatives to help them, get more immersed into the culture. Thank you.
Next one is our Vice President, Mr. Nishii.
Thank you, Madam President. So language is really important. You kids will have access to 2 billion people, understanding their culture, understanding how they think, and having empathy, so that they're no longer just the enemy or different people, that they are people that you understand. And so that's one of the great things that I'm so proud that we work for in this district to build. Is unique. Not a lot of other school districts have Mandarin. It's like a very difficult, not an easy language, but it's so important because it is the future. 2 billion people speak that language, and so I'm depending on you to be our ambassadors and make sure we have a great, prosperous future with those 2 billion people and all the other people out in the world. So thank you.
And we have, next one is our board member, Mrs. Yu.
Thank you, Board President Say, and Shinyan Kuai La. Just a few Chinese words. But thank you for the presentation. And I know Stowers is known for our International Baccalaureate Program, IB, which allows students from other districts to apply and come in through that program, and which represents our ABC. Because how many languages do we have, Dr. Zillo? Just on top of our head?
Probably close to 30, and that's
Yeah,
without
30
all the dialects.
languages, and how many different ethnic groups and the culture. And just being in that program, I'm sure you guys are exposed to so much of the culture, which you come to appreciate your own heritage too. Look at the diversity, the colors and the languages. And yeah, it's very important to really learn about your own heritage. Where do you come from? Where were your parents born? What languages, right? And what food? Because that's going to help you understand and appreciate and respect those who are different than you and other cultures. So, yeah, did a great job. Thank you very much for that dance. I almost wanted to kind of move with you guys. Yeah, good job.
Next one is our board member, Mr. Beach.
I just wanted to commend the dancers. Your fans were popping at the exact same moment. It was excellent. 谢谢.
Yeah, I do want to say thank you so much, but is your parents here too? Can we have the parents stand up? We want to say thank you. The Chinese immersion program, it was my really very beginning dream since 2007, I think 2009 and 2010. Probably that was the time I really say, hey, I need to push and push it until I have my colleague here, Mr. Nishi, and my other colleague, Ms. Yu, kind of forced. We really want to get this on because the population that we serve, Asian people, there's a need. The other language besides Spanish, we talk about Chinese. And then last week, I believe last week, right? Back to school, Principal Pamela. I went there. I really went to visit our kindergarten program. I'm telling you, I was standing behind it, and my daughter was shocked. My mom, she said, "Mom, this is what they learn? They're better than we were before." It was so good. And one of the little girl actually the teacher said, "Can you introduce your mom and yourself and your sister?" She did. She said, this in Chinese, she said, "This is my sister, this is my mom, and my name is so-and-so." I was shocked, kindergarten. And I looked at the girl, definitely she's not from Asia area. So I talked to the mother, she said she really learned from this school. So really, I want to thank you so much. In just within a year, we proposed the program started, and you did a great job. I want to thank you, Principal from Stowers, and can't wait to see the more classes open. And last one, I want to remind everyone, we have a Lunar New Year assembly, which is on Friday, on February 9th, 24th. The time is 7:55 to 9 a.m. I'm encouraging my colleague to visit them if you have time. Thank you again. Thank you, parents. Thank you, staff, for spending extra time tonight. Thank you. Well, next one, I also prepared the red envelope for our cabinet. So I have here, I have a Tuan, I have a Scott. Scott maybe can help us. I have Ricardo. Are you here, Ricardo? And Myra, okay. Okay, we have Tuan. Scott and Tuan. Here. I want to thank you guys. Be so kind and so helpful with our board here. You make us look good. And thank you, though. Appreciate it. And thank you, Dr. We have one for Daniel, right? Okay, so do we have any comment, anything anymore? No? Thank you. So our next one, we're trying to push our time, get closer and closer. Our presentation is a stoplight on teaching and learning. We do have Mr. Brian Watson, our equity officer, present Honoring Black History Month presentation. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, board. Good evening, President Say, Vice President Nishi, Clerk Noyola, Board Member Beach, Eugenio, Board Member Rios, and also Board Member Yu. Thank you, Dr. Zitlo, members of Cabinet, and also our community. I appreciate your comment Member Yu about the diversity of our district. That really is something in my role as equity officer I'm learning so much more about, and it really is one of the assets of our district. So thank you for your comments about the importance of culture, the importance of knowing where you're from, your language, your music, foods. That's really important in terms of connecting with everybody else in our global world. So thank you for your comments. My name is Blaine Watson, and I am our equity officer here in ABC Unified School District. I am here with you tonight. It gives me great pleasure and honor to present on Black History Month. I'm really going to be talking tonight about the history and culture of Black history, and also you'll hear me reference a term throughout the presentation called Black excellence, which really refers to the amazing things that Black folks individually have to do and as a people have to do in our country, and how they're recognized and highlighted. So you'll hear the term Black excellence. It's not in the PowerPoint anywhere, but you'll hear me reference the idea of Black excellence. So again, thank you for the opportunity to be here with you tonight. I will start off with just talking about the demographics of our district related to our African American or Black population. And before we just talk about just the difference between Black and African Americans, it's also important to recognize the diversity within the Black population, the Black culture. We have folks in our community, families and students who aren't just Black Americans, but also Black Caribbeans, and also hail as immigrants from Africa, from East and West Africa. So it's really important to recognize the diversity. When we talk about the demographics of our district, 7.3% of our district is African American, but I'd be remiss if I don't talk about the importance of students who are 2 or more races, and they identify as African American as well. It's a very important point to make when we're talking about the diversity of our Black population, knowing that sometimes when we look at Black folks, they don't necessarily show up the way we interpret them. So it's important to recognize that diversity. So the theme for this year, celebrating African American and Black History Month, is African Americans in the arts. And again, it's also important to recognize the influence that African Americans have had across the United States, across the Caribbean, across the world, really, in terms of social movements, in terms of music, in terms of dance, in terms of culinary practices, and also, like I mentioned before, African American culture, as we celebrate in the United States of America, is really an infusion of not just Black American culture, but African culture and Caribbean culture as well, and the lived experiences of those people. The history of Black History Month really starts way back in 1915, the early 1900s, by a gentleman by the name of Dr. Carter Woodson, known as the father of Black history. Dr. Woodson was also a principal and also a teacher, and it wasn't until about maybe 60 years later that Congress, United States of America, passed legislation that honors and also affirms Black history to be celebrated within the month of February. Many people ask, well, why February, right? Well, when Dr. Woodson and his colleagues came up with the idea of celebrating Black history within a month, they wanted to honor the work and the legacy of 2 very famous individuals and figures in Black American history, Frederick Douglass and also Abraham Lincoln. And then also February 1st is really to celebrate National Freedom Day, which is, it says here on the screen, a celebration of the ratification of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States of America. So again, why February? Well, here are a couple points that celebrate and the importance of celebrating in our month of February. Oops, there we go. So again, just talking about African Americans in the arts, African American art has been infused with African, Caribbean, and Latin American cultures in the United States of America. Black artists have influenced, like I mentioned before, lots of different cultural movements like neo soul, the Harlem Renaissance. There are so many different things that Black folks have done in terms of the culture, in terms of music, tradition, fashion that we can celebrate, and also has been paramount to how people think, right? In our culture, a lot of different intellectual movements have been led by Black leaders in the United States of America as well. It's also important to recognize back in 2020, the Board of Education here in ABCUSD honored Black culture and the Black people of the community by passing a resolution. And the resolution really indicated to resolve a few things. So first of all, a focus on ethnic studies in our curriculum, emphasizing anti-Blackness and abolishing systemic racism throughout our community, throughout institution education. Also, the resolution was passed to affirm the commitment to safety, both physical, social, emotional, in our community, and also to celebrate diversity and inclusion. And lastly, really this idea of our community's responsibility to create a new normal for Black families and Black students within our community. So to talk about some ways that our community affirms and honors Black folks and Black people throughout our district, there's so many things that we do to honor what we call the community cultural wealth, or the assets, right? And also the effort and the excellence of Black students and Black families across the district. We have several members from our Black Family Circle who we're gonna recognize in just a minute, but our Black Family Circle is a parent advisory committee of parent leaders and parent volunteers who are working tirelessly to support our students and to support families across the district by bringing more awareness and access to our educational programs and understanding how to navigate our systems here in the district office and at school sites. Also, our Diversity, Unity, and Equity Committee exists. It's a board-appointed committee. It exists to really elevate the voices of not just Black students and Black families, but of other cultures and other ethnic groups across our district. And lastly, we've been piloting our ethnic and culture studies curriculum in 3 of our high schools. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So I mentioned a little bit ago the idea of our Black Family Circle operating as a PAC, or a parent advisory committee. We have several leaders from our PAC here in the audience, and I would like them to stand so we can recognize them. Ladies, would you mind? So before you sit, our Black Family Circle, like I mentioned before, we meet I actually have the next slide here. There we go. We meet on the 4th Tuesday of every month. We're moving our meetings from 6 p.m. to 6:30 starting next month, right, or this month. And in these meetings, it's an opportunity for parents to come together and learn from our district leaders, learn from our site leaders, and learn from each other, really. And I'm really proud of all the tireless work that they've been doing to bring more awareness to our district and bring more opportunities to our families and students. Thank you, ladies. So other ways that we work to affirm our Black culture and our Black families, and most importantly, our Black students throughout the district, is the work that we're doing at school sites. And Black affinity groups are really important for student identity and development. And so we have, at each one of our comprehensive high schools, we have a Black Student Union. Gar High School's Black Student Union meets with club advisor Ms. Maddox. Ms. Maddox is also a member of our Black Student Alliance. Also at Artesia High School, the advisor is Mrs. Godinez, and at Cerritos High School is Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin is somewhere here in the audience. I saw him earlier. And then at Whitney High School, we also have an organization and club called Young Black Scholars, which is led by Ms. Bryson. And then I wanted to highlight, back in 2018, I did some research and found an article that was published by the Cerritos Informer, celebrated the initiation or inaugural year, I believe, of the BSU at Cerritos High School. And so I just wanted to read a quote from the article here from a couple of students, and talk specifically to their aspirational capital, what they believe that the Black Student Union would do, not just for themselves, but also for the community at Cerritos. One student said, "I hope we create a sense of unity through the BSU." Another student said, "I know that we're going to break down barriers, destroy stereotypes, and get the representation we've always wanted." Love our student voice. We also have an organization, a group of staff members, volunteers, teachers, and also counselors, which are referred to as the Black Student Alliance, who organize a lot of programming for Black students across our district. As a matter of fact, this Saturday, we're going to the HBCU, or Historically Black College University Fair and Exposition at the Los Angeles Convention Center. We'll be there all day from about 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And students will have an opportunity to learn from each other, but also to prepare themselves for college applications. Some students actually are accepted on the spot at the Black College Expo, so we're really excited about this opportunity for our students. We're taking 2 buses of students from several of our schools, and really excited about that work. But I really would like to have our Black Student Alliance members stand and recognize them for all their wonderful work. Thank you very much. So again, the Black College Expo is happening this Saturday. Next month, we're planning, no, in April, I'm sorry, during spring break, mind you, we're traveling to go watch the LA Clippers play for an historically Black college night in collaboration with the Inglewood chapter of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. I know we have some sisters in the house as well. Right? And then also our student leadership, like I mentioned before, our Black Student Union events and Black Circle Nights. And if you haven't attended a Black Circle Night yet, or one of our Black Family Symposiums, they're a wonderful opportunity for learning for our families. And our Black Alliance leaders have been doing a lot of work in terms of data learning with our families. So just some other things that are happening across our schools to celebrate Black History Month. This is just a sample. We've collected activities from 22 schools, if I'm not mistaken, but this is just a small sample. I want to highlight 2 schools specifically. At Nemus Elementary, Principal Heather Durant is organizing an event called, this is February 26th, an event called Real Men Read, where she's inviting, we're working together actually to bring a number of African American and Black mentors to the campus to spend the whole day reading to students. And we've actually created or collected a list of different texts by Black authors that these black leaders, Black men specifically, will be reading to our students as volunteers. Really excited about this opportunity at our school. And then also at Gar High School, there's a survey going out, really inquiring with students, what does Black History mean to you? What does Black History Month mean to you? And then also they're gonna have several rallies and activities led by ASB. And I know these activities are similarly happening across several of our high schools as well. Okay. So in terms of curriculum, what are students learning? What are students exposed to in terms of Black history and Black culture and again, Black excellence? Well, one of the most important things our kids are exposed to at the elementary level to topics related to civil rights movement. Obviously, Rosa Parks is a huge figure. You see a picture here of Rosa Parks. But really, I think it's really, our kids are being exposed to understanding the importance that Black leaders and Black figures play in not just our past, but our current reality. And that's an important identification piece for our students who may or may not identify as African American. All students need to see all different types of figures in leadership, and we're doing that work at the elementary level. At the secondary level, we have several courses that students are exposed to. I mentioned the ethnic studies curriculum. Again, ethnic studies is really about highlighting the diversity of our communities and celebrating the struggles, but also the assets of our communities in a very diverse community like ABC Unified. We've also introduced, we've had an African American literature course at the high school level, and we have a dual enrollment course with Cerritos College titled History 101 or 110, African American History. So students have diverse opportunities to learn and to explore African American culture and really see themselves in our curriculum. So what are some ways that we can celebrate and honor Black culture and Black history and Black excellence during the month of February and beyond, right? So there are a few things that I've listed here for us to think about, but this is just a limited list, a short list. I'm sure several other people have different ideas, but this is just a few. The first one, visiting the California African American Museum at Exposition Park, is a great idea. However, I know they're remodeling the museum right now, so I don't know when that's going to be done. But nonetheless, it's a great idea. Listening to Black History Month playlists on popular music applications like Spotify. If you just type in Black History Month selection, you'll have a litany of different opportunities to listen to podcasts and also to listen to music, right? That covers the gamut of Black entertainment related to music. Also supporting local Black-owned businesses and restaurants, donating to Black organizations, attend local Black History Months, and also watching different documentaries and movies on Netflix is a great opportunity to learn more about Black culture. And we've actually curated a list of different resources for families and for educators. We've sent out to all principals, and I know principals already, I've seen the document, I've seen the Google Doc. Leaders are in there looking at the different approaches and ideas that they can take from that list and share with their community as well. So another way that we are affirming and celebrating Black excellence in our district is recognizing our leaders across the district. You've seen something similar like this during Hispanic Heritage or Hispanic Latino Heritage Month. This month we're celebrating and profiling wonderful Black leaders across our district. We don't have time to celebrate every single person that we're profiling this month, but that information will be provided, I know, in the foyer area here in the district office. So when people walk in, you'll see different profiles. And then also all the site leaders have received a copy of all the different profiles to celebrate their school sites. I want to highlight just a few. So this is soon to be Dr. Brittany Parker Gooden. She says, reference to this question around what makes you proud of your heritage and Black excellence, she says, it is a legacy of breaking barriers and paving the way to continue to uphold our stories, our traditions, and legacy of excellence despite things meant to destroy us. Another profile, Mr. Tommy Martin, student intervention assistant at Carmelita Middle School. In reference again to this idea of Black heritage and Black excellence, he says, when I think of Black excellence, I think of a high level of achievement, success, or ability demonstrated by an individual group of people in the African American community. And lastly, we have Ms. Danya Burnett, library media technician at Carmelita as well. She says, we are soulful music, delicious cuisine, fashion forward, on-trend hairstyles, and so much more. My roots are connected to Nigeria, Mali, Cameroon, Congo, Ivory Coast, and Ghana. I am grateful and proud to be an African American. Really proud of all of these individuals for their contribution. So we're gonna let me skip forward, I'm sorry. All right. So one more thing that we're doing this month to celebrate and honor African American and Black History Month is another student contest. We love student contests. And we were here just last month honoring students who submitted essays and projects for the Hispanic Heritage Month. Well, this time around, going back to our theme of African Americans in the arts, our focus is, the contest theme is African Americans in the arts, right? And we're having a VAPA contest. In this VAPA contest, we're asking students to submit any form of visual performing art. It can be a monologue, it can be a poem, it can be a video recording, a song, a music dance, whatever students feel they need to share in expressing what it means to them, they can do so. There are 3 different questions that they can respond to. I'm not going to read them all to you, but they're here. But the 3 different questions they can choose to respond to. And again, we're going to have a small review committee organized different. Last time we had different staff members. We'll have the same group or maybe a different group of folks come together to review the student submissions and honor our students like we did last time. And the due date, I believe, is if I'm not mistaken, April. Thank you. March 18th is the due date for the submissions. Okay. All right. So I think that was a lot of me talking, but I have some wonderful guests I'd like to bring to the podium with me. I have 3 student leaders from 3 of our schools that are going to join me in concluding our presentation tonight. I'd like to first invite Zyla, Ms. Zyla Hughes, to the podium. Come on forward, Zyla. Thank you. All right. We also have Miss. Where's Bailey? There you are. Bailey Bryant. Come forward, Bailey. And we have Miss Mikal Mengistu. Come forward, please. Thank you. So we're going to finish our presentation tonight with a song. This song is very, very important in African American and Black culture. The song is titled "Lift Every Voice and Sing." We have one individual who's going to be singing the song with us tonight, and we have another individual who's going to be talking to us a little bit about the history of the song. So first, I'd like to invite Zyla and Bailey to the microphone, here to the podium. They'd like to share some thoughts. Come forward, ladies. Okay.
Hi, good evening, board. My name is Bailey Bryant. I am an 11th grader at Gar High School, and we had a prompt for today, and it was What makes you proud of your history in Black excellence? What makes me proud is the resilient strength and the cultural richness of the Black community. I am proud that I am the future of those who suffered from years of oppression and who overcame the adversities that have shaped us into the proud community that we are today. Black excellence to me embodies overcoming adversity, breaking barriers, and inspiring positive change, which is a testament to the strength and innovation within the Black community.
Good evening, board. My name is Zyla Hughes. I'm in the 7th grade at Carmenita Middle School, and I'm honored to be here. What makes me proud of my history and Black excellence is the fact that African Americans are once looked down upon and still are to this day, yet overcame all struggles as well as obstacles and made history-changing accomplishments. We were also denied education, yet I stand before you, a straight-A student and future oral surgeon.
Good evening, board. My name is Mika Mengestu. I'm a senior at Cerritos High School. And something that makes me proud to be a part of my Black heritage and Black excellence is I'm the daughter of 2 Eritrean immigrants. And they have introduced to me so many different African cultures that have a variety of different stories, legends, and also clothes and culture and music. It's like a never-ending story that never gets old or tired of being listened to. Moreover, being a part of the school district, it makes me proud to see a board that's dedicated to introducing more African American history into our schools and leaving more education. From being someone who's a part of a lineage that has so many proud and courageous and strong people, they have continuously reminded me to do the same. And speaking on the term of Black excellence, being someone who's a part of the school district, I've been someone who's very active in the school community, and seeing other African American students constantly throughout other types of clubs and activities that I'm involved in makes me happy every single day. Being someone that is a part of 5 clubs and the Secretary General of our nationally ranked CHS Model United Nations program, it's given me the opportunity to speak at the United Nations General Assembly Hall, as well as be able to introduce other students on our campus to speaking more about global affairs. And today I'd like to speak a little bit more about the song Lift Every Voice and Sing. This song was orchestrated and created by NAACP leader as well as school principal James Weldon Johnson. It was written as a hymn, then combined with his brother was turned into a song. This song was then sung by the first time at the Stanton School and was sung by 500 African American children in honor of Abraham Lincoln's birthday. This song would then be adopted by the NAACP organization to then be utilized as a rallying cry for during the 1950s to 1960s civil rights movement. This song is a testimony to the new generations of African American individuals to help inspire them that when you see an injustice, you have to speak up and use your voice, and more importantly, to lift every voice and sing. Thank you.
The future is very bright. All right. And now Zyla is here, and she's going to sing our song. You can stand. You want to go up there? Go ahead. Just stay wherever you want.
Okay. I've been provided with the opportunity to sing the Black National Anthem for you today, and I appreciate if everybody stands, if everybody already is, and I'd like to say thank you. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun. sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughter. Out from the gloomy past where my stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by Thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadowed beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Thank you.
Board, that concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you, community. And let's celebrate Black History Month.
Yeah, can you hold up? We have a board member, Dr. Olga Rios.
Thank you so much to our equity officer. I'm always so proud when he's up here and speaks because as he referred to the resolution that we passed when I was president and had a board that really championed this idea of bringing about more equity and bringing things to the attention of all of us. But I'm most proud of the fact that, and I don't know if this is a word, so articulately celebrates and elevates the diversity in our district. I appreciated the presentation on Black history. I appreciated especially the hymn. I was not aware that there was a Black hymn, and it was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us today. Yeah, thank you, and happy Black History Month to all of us. May we learn a little bit more about Black history and celebrate it. Thank you.
Next one's our board member, Ms. Yu.
Thank you, Board President, and thank you to our equity officer, Blaine Watson, and the 3 students. That was very inspiring, very encouraging, and just all of your words, and you just spoke from your heart, and it was very uplifting. And the hymn is just beautiful. you know, just every word, every verse, especially how, you know, God is lifted up, and just resembles Psalm 23, how God was with us into the light, you know, with us with a shadow beneath thy hand, just through all those difficult times, just acknowledging how God was with us. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Next one's our board clerk. Thank you. Next one's our board clerk, Mr. Noyola.
Thank you, President Say, and thank you, Mr. Blaine Watson, for always educating us on, you know, the history of our different cultures. And like you mentioned earlier, we have such a diverse district. So, you know, celebrating one another and uplifting each other, and being there to listen and be a voice. You know, I just thank you guys. I thank the parents for the Black Family Circle. I've attended one of their meetings, and they fill up the boardroom, and I'm glad to see that, you know, the parents are involved, and, you know, they're always there, you know, elevating the Black excellence, and always there advocating for their students and their families. Thank you.
Okay, I want to thank you so much, and we have, oh, you have one more? Oh, you didn't push it. Okay, Vice President, Mr. Nishii.
I'll be quick. So yes, I think that 3 years ago we embarked on this journey where we were intentional about reaching out to the community, and we were intentional about celebrating the diversity of our board and our cultures and our, it doesn't matter. It matters because when we celebrate all this, we become better people. We get to empathize with other groups. I have become richer because I'm learning about Eritrean culture, and I'm learning about Latino culture and Chinese culture and Korean culture and Filipino culture, and just about everything that's out there. But what is, you know, it starts here in the schools, right? That's the important thing, where we're intentional about making these things happen for our kids, and understanding that this is a great place. We are in a wonderful place where we can make change and improve our communities, reach our dreams through school, through academics, and celebrating ourselves, being confident in ourselves. And I am thinking this experiment will make us even better as a district. So thank you. It's not exclusive. This culture and academics are together. So thank you.
And the next one's a board member, Mr. Beach.
Mr. Watson, thank you for the presentation, and I especially want to thank our students for being here tonight. You have me in awe. Great speeches. It's not easy to get in here in front of 50 people and the board and speak publicly. You all did it so well, represented our district very well, and I just want to applaud you and your parents for your performance tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Is your parents here?
Yes, the parents are here.
Can we ask the parents to stand up?
Yeah, that's
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Mr. Watson, board has small token for you and the 3 students.
Okay.
Actually, the red envelope, like I mentioned, is a best luck and fulfill your dream to the highest dream that you want to. That's how this, money is not really just a bless. Thank you. I also have candy for you guys. Oh, I'll give you my. Also some candy too. I mean, this is a good luck candy given by Star Wars, so I thought I'd like to share my heart with you. I want to thank you so much. Okay, thank you, sir. You did a wonderful job, really great. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Thank you again. Good job. Next one is the Day of the Remembrance, which is going to be led by Dr. Castro, please.
Good evening, Board. Today, we just want to briefly talk about some of the activities we'll be doing this month for the Day of Remembrance. The Day of Remembrance is a day of observance for the incarceration of Japanese Americans during World War II. On February 19, 1942, Executive Order 9066 was signed by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. This executive order changed the lives of Japanese Americans on the West Coast by forcibly removing them from their homes without due process and imprisoning them in American concentration camps. The first Day of Remembrance observance in Los Angeles took place in 1979 when Governor George Deukmejian declared, in February 19, 1986, Governor George Deukmejian declared Day of Remembrance in California. The ABC Unified School District has been supporting this observance with assemblies for the last several years. Since 2019, Academic Services has partnered with Vice President Ernie Nishi and a group of volunteers to ensure that our students are able to learn from firsthand accounts about the impact of Day of Remembrance. This year, we are extending the learning opportunity to our elementary students, led by the efforts of our elementary curriculum director, Dr. Christine Balbona, who's here with us this evening. So thank you to her and her team for putting together a virtual assembly for our 5th grade students. That assembly will include reviewing some of the materials that we have been able to provide our schools, in addition to some of these readings and lessons, and also to hear from our firsthand volunteers who will be able to share their experiences. In addition, we will continue to have our assemblies at the secondary level, led by Dr. Krishina Wise and Mr. Brian Glonchak, who have been working on this project for several years as well. I want to thank all the volunteers for all their time and efforts to visiting our schools and providing this information, and truly expressing what it felt like for their family to go through this. In 2019, before the pandemic hit, believe it or not, in 2020, Mr. Brian Glonchak and myself thought that it would be great to get some videos asking our survivors some of the questions related to their experience in these camps. And so this is a short video, this is a short segment of the 30-minute video that we actually provide to our high school and middle school students as part of the lessons for learning about Day of Remembrance.
The notices were not given to any homes. They were posted on telephone poles. So, but they had used the census, the 1940 census. They had gone into that, which we're not supposed to, and got the names of all the Japanese. And so we knew that, you know, there was no way you could hide.
Families were separated and had to move away with the leaders of our community gone. So it was a traumatic time, economically and socially for everybody.
We were told to assemble at the St. Mary Episcopal Church. So there must have been about 20 buses there. So then, and about 1,000 people.
And we had to report to the local church on May the 9th, 1942. So after we reported there with only what we could carry, and we had to turn in our cameras and weapons, so we boarded buses, and we had a police escort to Santa Anita Horse Race Track, because that was actually the Santa Anita Assembly Center.
So again, I'd like to thank all the volunteers who are part of this program. They come in person, they're virtual. For years, I've spent much time with them, and I'm always so impressed with them. I mean, during the pandemic, they learned how to figure out how to use Zoom at 90 plus years old, just to be able to provide this information to our students. Along with them, it's not only the survivors, but also their children. Sometimes their nephews and nieces come with them, because it is part of their story and legacy that they want to make sure they share with our students, so that it doesn't happen again, so that people stand up against injustices that may happen to others in their community. And again, a big thank you to our Vice President Ernie Nishii for contributing to this experience for our students every year.
Do we have any comments? Ernie? Okay, Vice President, Mr. Nishii.
Thank you, Madam President. So this is a unique opportunity that our students will get. Perhaps there are not going to be a lot more of these, because these people are 94. I think the oldest person is about 98, almost 100. This is actually not a sad thing. This is a thing that shows the hopefulness of our country, that we can learn from truth, and that we don't do this. And the hope is that the future of our country is dependent upon our kids standing up when they see something that's inappropriate, standing up against bullying, standing up against, and when all the other kids are harassing one kid, that one kid stands up and says, no, that's wrong. And hopefully this lesson will hit deep and won't affect future generations of other groups of people. It's really important that we empathize with Black American history because that's civil rights. It's not just the Bill of Rights is just a piece of paper unless we really believe it. There's a piece of art down here. I don't know if you can focus in on the camera. Created by my mom, who was incarcerated. She was about 4 years old, pretty innocent. And it shows basically the wood of the barracks that were there. And a lot of faces, nameless faces, people who we don't know. And it was easy to put them behind bars because we didn't know who they were. They didn't have cultural inclusion. They were various other epithets that they were used. We were able to use those epithets because we didn't care about being sensitive to the other people. And so they're nameless and faceless, and that's the person. But then you have a picture of a person, you see a face, and it's in detail, and it's an old lady. And she is behind bars, and she's sleeping or sad or whatever that intent is. And so I'm hopeful that this art also is able to impact people deeply and provide a really good education for everyone. So thank you for enabling this ABC, because I think this will really help our nation and elevate our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President, Mr. Nishii. Thank you. Do you have any? No? Do you have to have my colleague have any question? You've seen none? Okay. Thank you so much to both of you. Thank you. Okay, I know I'm still in the shock, you hear that and they actually see the thing Ernie mother made it, just because I saw this before, and I was just, reminds me when I was little, heard so many stories about, but now, like we were saying, we're trying unity together. We treat each other with respect, and I think that's my colleagues also wishes too. So I want to let everyone know, thank you very much for participating today's presentation. So the next one is update school facility capacity and decline enrollment board ad hoc committee update. The reason we decided to invite our chair for this committee chair, Mr. Kirit Changkang. Did I write? Am I right? Changkang, yeah. I want the people to understand they are the one appointed by the board, but they do the best they can. When I went, I did attending the meeting, and I just want to let you know, you did a really great job. You lead a great team. I want to say thank you very much. So now the floor is given to you now, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Board President Say, Superintendent Zietlow, and board members. Kirt Chan, Chair of the School Facilities Capacity and Declining Enrollment Ad Hoc Committee. I'm here to report to you the status of the committee's work so far. As you requested and appointed members to the committee, we started our work in May of 2023. The district staff provided us with the same information that has been provided to you in previous meetings. The difference was we had the time to look at the data and ask for clarifying questions. Just as a small backdrop, why are we considering school consolidation? There is a projected and continues to be a declining enrollment. The state of California has had a decline in student enrollment. For many years, it was stable around 6.2 million students. However, in 2022, the student population was 5.85 million. Therefore, we lost approximately 350,000 students in California. ABC has also been very stable. If you look at the data, and I do have it, in about 2002, you had 22,000 students. In 2012, you had approximately 28. You've been stable until then. However, in 22, our enrollment, as reported by California Department of Education, was 18,354, approximately 2,000 students down. All of this is public information from the California Department of Education. So how do we, in ABC community, deal with the fact that we have 1,600, approximately 1,600 class of seniors who leave our district because they will graduate? And yet, our kindergarten enrollment is less than 1,400. That's the reality we have to work with. So we don't know where the district stands, and we don't have an equilibrium yet. As a committee, we were provided with the fall projection report by Davis Demographics, a long-range facilities master plan. We also got data about the school capacities, how large our schools are. We had to develop a kind of a progress timeline to figure out how and when we were going to get our work done. Then we had to sit down and come up with a set of criteria. I mean, if you were to close, well, how do you close? And what factors do you consider? Based on those conversations, then we said, okay, we need the enrollment data for 22-23. What are our current enrollment? What are the operating costs of the elementary schools? And then having looked at all of the data, the committee focused on the following criteria, or the metrics, what I like to use to say, okay, how can we equitably look at all the schools? So what we chose to do as a committee was to look at these elements. How many classrooms are there at each school? What is the current capacity at each school? What is the current enrollment at each of our elementary schools? And how many under or over capacity were these schools? What was the capacity of, and what was the actual capacity of the school? Because some of our schools can accommodate a lot more students than they actually have. What is the percent of students that transfer out from that school? What is the percent of students that transfer into that school? What is the amount of money we have allocated from Prop B to those schools? What is the actual number of actual students who reside within the boundary of that school? What is the number of students who actually attend their home school? What trustee area does that school belong to? What are the number of portables? These are all the data that we asked for. Then when we looked at those data, we developed a matrix that we developed on 12/13/2023. And based on the criteria, we as a committee identified 6 schools that we feel like we needed more data on. This is not a definitive list. It is a method of delimiting and looking at, is this a doable? So based on the data, we selected Aloha, Ferguson, Juarez, Kennedy, Hawaiian, and Willow. So we are reviewing more data for those schools. Mr. Wen has already provided some information to us at the last meeting. So the committee will be asking for more information and recommendation before we come back to you and give our final recommendation. At our last meeting, the staff provided us with maps and numbers of students that could be moved to adjacent schools. Call it a feasibility test. We have more questions about the data. Tomorrow, February 7th, we'll be having our first town hall meeting at Artesia DES or the Portuguese Hall from 6 to 9 p.m., which for the address purposes is 11903 Ashworth Street in Artesia, 90701. And our second meeting will be at the Robert Lee Community Center at 21815 Pioneer Boulevard in Hawaiian Gardens, 90716. So our intent is to bring you a final report by May for your consideration, because we as a committee can only suggest. There are lots of correlative things that will be associated with it, but that's not the scope of this committee. The scope is to look at, could we consolidate schools? And if so, which ones would it be based on the data, based on the input? Because there's so much that we don't know that we yet have to ask some clarifying questions from the staff. And I know the committee members have questions as well. With that said, that's my report. And if you have any questions, I'm here.
Thank you, Ms. Chang Hong. Thank you for providing such wonderful detail and current trends to the board here. We're looking forward more details in the future and after the town hall meeting. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda for the regular meeting of February 6, 2024?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 7-0. Next one, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of January 16, 2024?
Moved by Noyola.
Second again.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So motion passes 7-0. Now it's board president report. It has been a very busy few weeks since we last met. On January 17, attended school facility capacity and decline enrollment ad hoc committee meeting, and I thank the community for attending and share your thoughts. I would also like to thank those committee members who have been involved and engaged in the process. They are volunteers. I want to remind everyone, those committee members. It's not easy, especially on this matter, and engaged in this process. They are volunteer appointed by our board colleague here to serve. As a reminder, we have the first of 2 town hall meetings about the ad hoc committee's work tomorrow night, like Ms. Chang Hu just mentioned, at Portuguese Hall in a t-shirt beginning at 6 p.m. I encourage people to attend that meeting. On January the 18th, I attended YMCA Appreciation Luncheon event. On January 22nd, I went to the Bikes for Kids event in Lehman's Elementary School, and we're all third grade students were surprised with the new bike, this beautiful bike they have. When they open the screaming, wow, the kids jumping up and screaming. One of the kids, I don't have a bike, perfect for me today. I'm going to call my mom. That's how exciting they are. I want to thank you to our ABC Foundation, Education Foundation. I also want to thank you, ABC Excels and the YMCA for supporting this program. I also want to thank you, our Atisha City Council member, Mrs. Manano, for attending this event. She also presented the award to the students too. On January 25th, I attended Ross Middle School open house, another great event showcase a great school. Also, on January 25th, I went to see the ABC District musical, which is provided at Whitney High School, Catch Me If You Can, at Whitney High School. It was so much fun. We have some very talented students. Definitely you can see the kids. When they perform, I think, wow, they should go to Hollywood. And so I took my grandson, Lucas. If my grandson, Lucas, only 3.5 years old, can sit still watching the music show, that tells you how wonderful the students' performance there. So, and he really enjoyed the music. On January 30, Vice President Mr. Nishi and I joined Mr. Walker, Coach Franklin, as the Cerritos High School football team was recognized for the CIF championship at the Los Angeles Board of the Supervisor. Thank you to Supervisor Hum for supporting our school. It was really very honored that we were there to get the word in the public. This is like whole California program watch that the recognition. So we want to thank you, and want to thank you again to Cerritos High School, the staff and the students for your hard work. Also on January 30, I joined the clerk, Mr. Noyola, member Dr. Rios, Dr. Zillo, Dr. Lois, and principal from the Lakewood area school at the Lakewood State of the City Luncheon. And we appreciate the partnership we have with the city we serve. And it was great to hear about all of the amazing things happening in Lakewood. Maybe my favorite event happened last Friday when we celebrate Carver Academics National Blue Ribbon Award. The school held an assembly for all the students, staff, and parents. We are so proud of Carver. Thank you to Principal Ms. Burning, teachers and staff for all you do for the students, and I thank you students for working so hard for your family, for your support. That day the kids was yelling and screaming, was so loud, they made sure all the neighbors hear that. So that was a really great event that I went. I would also like to share the opportunity for our graduating high school seniors to visit Taiwan with the Cerritos College. The trip will take the place over the summer, and there is cost involved. Those interested in learning more about the study abroad trip should contact Cerritos College at studyabroad@cerritos.edu. And the website is studentboard@cerritos.edu if anyone interested to go. Okay. I am so glad that the board will be recognized Black History Month with a resolution this evening. And I want to wish everyone a happy Chinese or Lunar New Year. Finally, as I did the last meeting, I want to remind those here to provide public comment about the school facility capacity and the decline enrollment ad hoc committee. We have two, again, town hall meetings for you to attend and provide input. As I mentioned, one is tomorrow at Portuguese Hall, the other one's at Hawaiian Garden, C. Roberts Lee Community Center on February the 15th at 6 p.m. The committee has looked at a great deal of the data so far. Now they need additional information from the community. I encourage you to attend. More information about ad hoc committee and its work can be found on our website, the information. Also, I know that some of you here to share your thoughts about closing the ABC Virtual Academy. And I'm going to ask our superintendent what the plans are moving forward with the students who are enrolled in the program. Dr. Zeno.
Thank you, President Say. Just so that our community is aware, with that transition with Virtual Academy, it is very small numbers of students, and so our plan is to work with each individual family on what will be best placement for their students for the coming year so that we can make sure that we help them in that transition back into in-person instruction.
Thank you for providing. Next one will be Student Board Representative Report. And we have Marianne, Board Adult. Yeah, this is the one. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Welcome.
Thank you. So, good evening, President Say, Vice President Nichi, Clerk Noyola, distinguished board members, Superintendent Dr. Zidlow, cabinet members, and community members. My name is Miriam Bodaro. After moving to Cerritos, I received the ABC Adult Schools magazine in my mailbox. I got interested in the ESL classes and registered. After getting more comfortable in conversational English, I decided to find a job. So to do so, I attended the keyboarding class in the career training program, as well as a preparation class for the HiSET. I got my high school equivalency and I graduated last May. As my two daughters are in a school in ABCUSD, I decided to apply for a job in the district. And now I'm working as a substitute clerk assistant for the district. Of course, I keep attending ESL classes when I'm not working. I'm very thankful to ABC Adult School, the teachers, staff, and principal and vice principal who supported me and helped me during this great journey.
My name is Diane Ewing. About 12 years ago, I joined the water aerobics, not knowing that I would meet 25 very special friends, that we go out to breakfast, lunch, celebrate birthdays. And I have to say this class is very caring about each other.
So, the academics department is starting the new year off strong with over 60 new and returning students in our high school diploma program, and more than 80 new and returning students in our high school equivalency prep program. We also continue to provide an online option in Edmonton for the district's concurrent high school students. This semester, we have added an evening lab on Monday nights for students who can't make it to school during the day. We also offer a daily math lab to support students who want help in math and algebra. We are looking forward to our graduation ceremony in May, and we invite everyone to follow us on social media, where we regularly post photos of our students as they meet their graduation goals. Career Technical Education has met all of their benchmarks for the Council on Occupational Education. Our amazing students are completing their courses and finding employment in their chosen fields. We are continuing to develop outreach strategies for our local area to increase enrollment. These include increased social media presence and Long Beach transit ads. Looking forward, we have completed renovations for the HVAC program, and we are looking for an engaging instructor. We are excited that 2 of our accounting students were hired by the district. The cosmetology program received a very generous donation from Garfield Enterprises that includes items for the school as well as items to be given to graduates of the program. The ESL department is well into the second trimester and with high attendance numbers. For the next trimester, which starts March 4th, we plan to add 2 morning classes and an afternoon citizenship class at the Questa campus and an evening class at the Cabriolet campus. So far, 2 ESL students have graduated with a high school equivalency and 6 have earned their U.S. citizenship. You can see our ESL students in action on our social media platforms. Lastly, 5 ESL teachers are taking part in a book pilot program and a CalPro month-long workshop. We look to improve our lessons and strive to create a warm and engaging classroom environment.
The Community Education Department held its first holiday craft sale at Cabrillo Lane campus during December 2023 community coffee event. Community education, adults with disability, AWD students displayed their handmade class projects for everyone to see and to purchase as holiday gifts for friends and family members. Adult school students and staff participated in festive sing-alongs and dance performance. This event was a great success. We added new classes this year: marketing design, flower art and watercolor, greeting cards, painting, and a beginning level for folk art decorative painting. We have some evening classes that returned this year, the first time since the COVID shutdown, such as guitar and bass and cardio kickboxing, and we added additional section for our floral design class. The Adults with Disability program offers life skills, functional academics classes, work skill, and functional academic classes at 3 off-site locations. We are pleased that the students are more active in community and interested in continuing their education. We are very proud of the AWD student, Keith, for working hard to complete his coursework toward high school diploma. The parent education classes had a great fall semester with 15 classes for parents and their children. In addition to our traditional preschool program, we have also included sensory exploration, art, cooking, science, Spanish classes. We have an evening class for working parents. Children have the opportunity to learn both academic and social emotional skills, while their parents learn about development, discipline, nutrition, the importance of play, and community resources. Parents in our program usually go on to volunteer in many capacities in their children's elementary schools. Fall highlights included a field trip to pick pumpkins and more at Tanaka Farms in Irvine, and a special event with Santa Claus. This year, we added a new topic to our parent leadership academic workshop, drug education, life skills for teens. The December workshop was a smashing success. Thank you for your continued support of ABC Adult School.
Okay. Don't go. Ms. Edwin, I just want to let you know, I also taking water aerobic now. I just started. I enjoying. If everybody look at her back is really, the posture is really nice. That's one of the class really help you posture. Helps me a lot just within 2 weeks. Really, I mean, my husband said, "Boy, you standing so straight, so good." That was because of that class. I want to thank you. And I took 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I skipped the 2 times because I fell and hurt my knees, and my doctor said, you can't do that. Even though I hurting it, even though I had injured my knees, I still want to take it because I want to maintain that. But the doctor forced me to have to just holding out 2 times. So I'm just looking forward to see it. What time are you taking it?
Tuesday and Thursdays, 8 to 9.
Oh, I want to see. I take Monday and Wednesday and Friday, 8 to 9. Thank you again. Thank you so much for your presence. But I do have a couple board members want to say something. I'm sorry, I should have let you guys first. First, I have a board clerk, Mr. Nayola.
Thank you, President Say. I just wanted to thank you guys, Miriam and Diane, for coming down and just highlighting all the great things our adult school has to offer. I think our adult school is like a hidden gem of our district. I know we talk about our K through 12, but the adult school has so much to offer, either in personal development, just, finding a new hobby, or just going there and taking a class and making friends. So thank you for coming by and sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Our next one will be Board Member Ms. Yu.
Thank you, President Say. Miriam and Diane, you guys are a testament of our ABC program. That even as an adult, even moms out there have second chance, third chance, and just grow with your kids. Yeah, and land on a great career, which you already seem to have. So congratulations and continue on.
Thank you.
Really proud of you guys.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you. And I think adult principal's here too, right? Nancy Mara? Hi. Thank you. It was great program. You run a really good program there. Okay. Our next one is our superintendent's report. Dr. Zillow.
Thank you. Like President Say, it's been very busy. I've been able to do a number of trainings, whether it's Superintendent's Collaborative with LACO, Governor's Budget Workshop, or a Superintendent Symposium. That's been really great. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been meeting with principals in small groups to review their single plans and the work they're doing for their student groups, what's going well and where do they need further support to help our students do their best academically. And so that's been a great time of learning and making sure that we're providing the supports we need for our schools. In addition, I think there's been quite a bit of fun things happening. I too got to go to the Carver Academy National Blue Ribbon, and they let me stay on and do hula hooping with the children. So that was quite fun. As well as just trying to keep our staff connected, and so doing some district staff meetings with updates, meeting with all of our directors for a quarterly meeting, working with our ABCFT partners in our PAL focus group to reconnect mid-year and make sure we're working together to solve issues and be prepared for the coming school year. Those have been some great things. I also got to go to the Parent in Me class. That was a lot of fun, seeing the parents with their little ones at the Adult School Dameron Center. So it's been busy. I want to give a special thank you to our MOTF staff. With the rain not stopping, just continuously going, they've been working really hard. As with anything, there's leaks here and there, but with so much water and California not being really designed for that, they've had to do a lot of work where they have to go up and remove standing water just to help keep things going. And so we're so thankful for them and all of our staff who reports quickly if there's an issue. So big thank you to them with all the rain we've had. And that's my report.
Thank you, Dr. Zillow. Next one will be our employee representative reporters. Tonight we have ABCFT President, Mr. Ray Gare.
Good evening, President Say, Board Trustees, Administrative Cabinet, ABC community, teachers, nurses. Good evening, my name is Ray Gare, President of the ABC Federation of Teachers. You never know if you're gonna speak or not, or at least I don't. And I'm like, well, okay, maybe there's some things. Like we had, you heard, it's called a PAL focus. And what that is when the principals and the site reps get together. We did that earlier in the year, and we revisit some things in the middle of the year. We talked about their continued relationships, their working relationships, and how they do problem solving. We've been working on what's called community agreements. So we have guiding principles and behaviors is kind of how we, it's the rules of engagement, why we get together, and then community agreements are really what you do with a whole staff. So a whole staff has input into that process about how they're going to behave with each other and work on issues at the school site. So it's a great team building. And it's a great way to just keep the school moving forward. We also talked about bell schedules and how they'll be impacted, if at all, by the recess, new legislation that was about recess. And said we also talked about school site councils. So we wanted to give a background on the purpose of school site councils, how they're formed. We wanted to start with the reps and the principals to make sure that everybody had at least a common understanding of what a school site council does. And so we can, it's a way to get parents, teachers, administrators, and students all together. And so to talk about directions of schools, how you spend money, input into the LCAP, all of that. And it's a really important piece at the local level. So I think it's great that we're shining a light on it. Today, before board meeting, we always have what's called a union chat. We have 50 regulars out of the 1,000 teachers. Sometimes there's more. Like during the pandemic, we have 450, but we have 50 regulars, and I want to thank them for always tuning in. One of the things we talked about, of course, we talked about the facilities committee, and I'll get to that in a minute. But what I think is kind of interesting, I wanted their feedback on AI. And so I know that the superintendent and I have been talking about AI. I know that I've been talking to AI about district administrators. I went to something at the state level and talked about, I was among 26 other vice presidents who were from K-12s and the college guilds, and they're scared to death of AI. They're pushing back. They're worried about the philosophical implications, and we can worry about that. It's going to be, and that's going to have to be worked on. College Guild, they're worried about kind of how we used to worry about spell. I'm sure when I was in college and I got spell check and grammar check, my professors are probably, they're cheating. He's cheating. His paper went from a C to a B or a B to an A. But was I really cheating? We're all using spell check now. It's like a natural thing. So AI is kind of at that level where you have people pushing back and saying, no. I was one of 26 people to say, you know what, we're already training our teachers on how to take something off their plate, individualize instruction for students in a better way, more efficient way, faster way, to have more intricate lesson plans, better communication with parents, working on how we can use that for grading and doing all kinds of things that will help us to put more for students. And so I think ABC is unique in that we're kind of embarking in this, and I don't know how much has been talked about it, but it's something that, as the union president, I think it's really good for teachers to have tools so that they can take something off their plate, so they can give more in the classroom on an individual basis. So it's a direction in ABC. We're at the very early stages, but I think it's something to think about. I want to thank Carrick for coming up here and talking about the facilities committee. It's an important conversation. Tomorrow is really important for the community, as well as the town hall at the end of the month and the committee meeting we have. It's important for the community to get involved in this conversation. It's really important. I want to thank Carrick for being really clear about some of the realities of why we're having this committee and what's being considered. So I would encourage the community to be all ears, and for us to be all ears. Sorry, we need to hear as a committee. I'm on the committee, and I need to hear what's going on in schools, why programs are important. But how can we create bridges? If we do decide to, reallocate what we're doing with our students, then how do we make that a positive experience for those who experience it? I know that 6 months ago we were kind of forcibly moved in our union office, and it was a rude awakening, and we had 30 days to get out, and there's a lot of turmoil that comes with that. And I know that that's what people are feeling out there, even though it's not happening. They're feeling that turmoil. But once decisions are made And once we, as we moved the office and we found out that the next office was going to be better because it had all these helpful pieces for us, we felt better about the process. And in the end, the office is really a good fit for us. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to, something will happen to a school, then we're not sure about that. But even if no decisions are made, this is a powerful and really important discussion to have with the community. And so I want to thank you for being brave to do this. And lastly, thank you, Mr. Watson, for the Black History Month. It gets more powerful every time you present. And, it's just great for the ABC community. Thank you, Olga, Dr. Rios, sorry, and congratulations on your stuff, your new position. But 3 years ago we had the dream, 3 or 4 years ago we had the dream of having an equity officer, and we didn't know how that would change our board meetings, what we do with our parents and our students in the schools. And you've made that a reality, and you can see it. And I think we were all moved tonight. So thank you for making that happen as a board. And then, stay dry, everybody. Hopefully it gets dry the next couple of days. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gare, the president of ABCFT. Thank you so much. Well, I too am training on A1 AI now too in our school, so it's really great. You know what? By the way, I also bought a book at CSBA. I want to donate it to your office, so when teachers come, they can read the book. The title is called "Believes in Me." Thank you. So next to our public comments, Clerk Nayola, do we have any?
Yes. Persons wishing to address the board should fill out a card located on the table by the door and place it in the silver tin. Speakers will be called in sequence during the public comment section, which is limited to 1 hour, and each speaker to one presentation of 5 minutes, unless the board wishes to waive the time limit. Those who have a group concern are encouraged to select a spokesperson to address the board. Please remember that the board is unable to directly respond to comments made during public comment section, and neither the board nor the district verify the accuracy of the statements made during public comments. Persons wishing to address the board on specific agenda items at the time the item is under discussion are limited to 5 minutes each and will be called to speak following the staff's comments and prior to the board discussion and taking action. Adverse remarks about a person's race, ancestry, ethnic group identification, religion, color, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, gender, mental or physical disability, or age may not be made. Please avoid remarks or charges which reflect upon the character, motives, qualifications, or ability of any school district employee. Concerns presented to the board will be followed up and addressed by appropriate staff. First up, we have Terry Lloyd, followed by Samantha Desai.
Good evening. My name is Teddy Lloyd, and I want to thank you very much. I'm so happy to come, which I don't come to school board meetings very much. Today, I have the opportunity to watch the Black History Month. I saw 3 very smart, talented young ladies. They will definitely be successful in the future. And then also, the Chinese New Year, as it turned out, I was born on Chinese New Year Day, Lunar New Year. So I'm very happy somebody celebrated my Chinese New Year. Any case, the reason I'm coming here has to talk to do much more about pickleball. You say, well, why pickleball? I came by maybe 6 months ago, and I spoke to the school board, and I spoke to Mr. Ernie Nishi, and then we talked about, and because the sport is the fastest growing sport, okay? So the good news is that because it's the fastest growing sport, since I was here the last time, there are new pickleball courts available, and such as the Donkanabe, which is Cerritos Regional Park. And also, Liberty Park will be having more pickleball courts. And nearby, other cities such as Long Beach got more pickleball courts, as well as in the city of Carson. Why am I talking about the courts? Because I see so many people coming to play pickleball, including Mr. Nishi. And then it's that, what about the students? What about the ABC school district? Okay, and then I remember I came and I asked the school board if you put more pickleball courts, simply because too many of them, I have spent time even training, just my enjoyment of the young kids, but they don't have any courts. Okay, so what I want to suggest for the ABC School District is that first, if you can allow the students from high school to middle school as well as elementary schools be able to treat that as part of the physical education or the sports, okay? But in order to do so, you have to have some courts. So my suggestion, I always want to look at the positives, and my suggestion is that you may want to have the students come to Donkanabe and maybe Cerritos, Liberty Park, and as I said, City of Cerritos in a process of having more pickleball courts. And then I know people that can actually provide help for the school district to show the kids how to play the sport correctly. And because it's the fastest growing sport, a lot of players may not even know how to play the sport correctly. Whereas tennis, it's been around for quite a number of years. So I do know that schools, they have tennis, programs, and then even the tennis courts. So if I can get the ABC School District not only to have pickleball courts on the school campus and or provide pickleball as a sport for the kids from high school to middle school to also elementary schools, that would be great. I would like to, if I can be of any help, I will have no charge to the school board, but I like to do that. I personally am very much interested in pickleball, and then again, Mr. Nishi saw me, and then I even did some drilling and training, and I enjoy doing that, and I hope I can do that for the kids. Okay, so that's the reason I want to come. It's merely making a suggestion. Hopefully, the school board of ABC School Board will look into that, and then provided maybe all the schools to have pickleball as a sport, as well as make available maybe on campus some sort of a court, okay? And then if the school board wants to know how to build the courts even easily, I have new ideas. I would more than happy to provide information like that. So that's the reason I want to come, and hopefully if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Samantha Desai, followed by Margaret Sato.
Margaret.
Is she? She left.
No, Margaret's there.
Samba Desai?
Who's
No,
Margaret?
Margaret Saito's there.
Saito's right. Is Margaret Saito?
Oh, Samda Desai, sorry, thank you.
Hello, sir. Sambhav. Sambhav. Samantha is a little bit different. Dear board, union members, friends, my name is Sam Desai, Sambhav Desai. 2014, we had Measure AA, which asked for $195 million. It didn't go through. A few years later, we had Measure BB. We gave $200-odd million in bond. Today I heard we are closing 6 schools, my friends. The data in front of you. Declining schools. The number was 22,585. And in 2 years it will be 16,000, right? The data was with us. And this board was negligent. You created committee members who didn't show up to your committees. You are doing a town hall tomorrow, which is a distraction to pit parent groups who wants to keep one school open to fight the other parent group who wants to keep their school open. Welcome back, Member Suyu. Last meeting, January 16th, Dr. Eugenio, you indicated your key goal is to provide safe environment. Mr. Beach, you want monies for safety. Athletics, Mr. Nishi. For food securities, Mr. Noyola. Food securities are the good stuff. Dr. Rios, achieving academic success. Mrs. Tay, sports, academia. Mrs. Yu, diverse families, these are your goals. Not one of you said, let's keep all the schools open. Sir, your matrix is flawed. The calculations are not right. The report you are going to give does not account for the data and its interpretation the way you have done. Because the residents have been doing this since we gave you the money. We are the one who goes and does oversight because it's our money. We are not going to close any schools. Mind you that tomorrow if you go to the town hall, remind everyone, not a single school is going to be closed. Don't you dare scare anyone with Measure CC that if we don't close any schools, you will raise our taxes. Not on my shift. Not again. I have worked with you. I will continue to work with you. It's not a difficult task, but each one of you have to lose if we lose a school. Each one of your property values goes down when one of our school goes down. There is a solution. And the only solution is which is going to make you guys so uncomfortable, you're going to talk to your spouses about it tonight. Hold your decisions to give a poison pill called school of choice to my residents. And you knew this day will come. And I am going to hold you each responsible. You know why? Because I am Sam. I don't forget. I'm here to lead you out of the darkness. But don't you dare leave a single student behind. Make that commitment before you show up to the next town hall. You are the leaders. Act like one. This is America. Save our schools. Thank you.
Next we have Margaret Sato, followed by Delta Sigma Theta Sorority.
Margaret Sato, a community member, and I'm here to speak. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Last board meeting, there were two parents who came here and raised the issue of bullying. Now, I was wondering, in their presentations, they did not mention any interaction with the wellness counselors. Now, I understand that there are wellness counselors on each campus, but I don't know if it seems to me that what these students were going through, that the wellness counselors should have immediately addressed these things with the principal, with the parent, and perhaps you guys can follow up, and maybe this is a personnel issue, I don't know exactly, but I understand, unless my understanding of the purpose of the wellness counselors is incorrect, but what happened for these children should have been prevented. We could have cut it off right at the beginning, okay? Because if we have these people that are concerned with the wellness of our children, Why didn't they intervene? Why didn't the parents mention it? Okay, anyway, that's on that subject. The other issue is about the enrollment, okay? I understand why we are addressing these things. Because we lost a congressional district. We lost a congressional seat. And we continue to have people that move out the state, okay? High taxes, high crime, lack of affordability housing, okay? We have high taxes because we vote in high taxes, okay? We vote for people that raise our taxes, okay? High crime. We vote for people like George Gascon. We voted for Prop 47, 57, AB 109. This is why it's so important that our students know how to read these propositions, because apparently parents don't, okay? We don't look at the effect of what we're voting for. We just look at titles, okay? So it's really important. And we have George Gascon who doesn't want to put anybody in prison. We have Robert Bonta, our Attorney General. He doesn't want, he's letting everybody out of prison. And we can affect the change. I know the committee looked at the impact. We're trying to mitigate the impact on affected communities, but look at the crime. I live in the city of Artesia. Less than 2 square miles, we have less than 17,000 people. We have gangs north of 91. Nemus, which is right across where the gangs are, it is not on the list. Actually, people want to go to Nemus. So you can impact your school environment. If you have crime, you can go to city council and demand that the city use some of the resources for law enforcement. We spend about 36% of our budget on law enforcement. It would be better if we could put these people in prison, but all the sheriff's department can do is to try to suppress the gangs that exist north of 91. Okay. So look at why are these students going to other schools? Because their parents want a good education. They want school that excels. So I think one of the things you guys need to look, why isn't your school excelling? Why aren't you guys, look at how this children, people come to ABC because they want their children to excel. We have a diverse community because we have students that achieve, that excel. They want that for their children. So if your school's on the list, look at the academics. Why are they going to other schools? What are those other schools doing that your school is not? And then we need to create that environment, duplicate that environment so that they will want to go to your school. Because you may like your environment, but all the other families in your community have elected to go to other schools. So you need to find out, why are they electing to go to other schools? Okay, thank you.
Next we have Delta Sigma Data Sorority, followed by Julie Kim.
Good evening and happy Black History Month. My name is Ronique Tatum and this is Joycelyn Dirk. I am the current chapter president of the Cerritos area alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I bring you greetings and good evening to you all. I am here to present some books. Let me explain to you what this is. Our chapter here in the city of Cerritos, we've been in the city for going on 25 years. May 1st of this year will be our 25th year, and we serve communities within the ABC School District. We service Cerritos, Artesia, Hawaiian Gardens, Bellflower, Norwalk, Downey, La Mirada, Santa Fe Springs, and Whittier. And as a focus of our chapters, Women Helping Women Children and Families Committee, we have selected to provide a service project to the schools in the ABC Unified School District. This past fall, starting with Thanksgiving, we provided Thanksgiving baskets to one family at each of the school district's middle and high schools. In collaboration with the Rho Iota Iota chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity and the district's Black Family Circle Parent Advisory Committee. Our chapter is currently collecting books. We're planning to donate over 400 books to your school district next week on February 15th. We also started collecting the books during our Dr. Martin Luther King celebration that we had here in the city of Cerritos. So we're happy to just show you an example. We're donating multicultural books to all of your schools, and our organization, oh, thank you. Our organization of Delta Sigma Theta, we are a public service organization that was founded on January 13th, 1913, over 111 years ago on the campus of Howard University by 22 college-educated African-American women. And we are one of several chapters throughout the world. So we just want to, again, bring you greetings and acknowledge our book donation that we're giving to you all. Thank you.
Then, yes, no comments in here.
Oh, is it okay for us to look at the books? Appreciate it.
Okay, with no comment here, so okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Well, no comment, yeah. We'll just give the, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The
Next we're going to have Julie Kim, followed by Steven Sodders.
Hello, board members, members of the community. Thank you so much for everything you're sharing today. My name is Jules Kim. I'm the mother of a child at Carver Elementary School. It was nice to see some board members and the superintendent at this blue ribbon celebration on Friday. But unfortunately, I have to speak some truth today. I wanted the board to be aware of my experience with the problem within the district that was made clear at the last board meeting. And it continues to be a problem. It's unaccountable principals. Another parent shared that they did not get redress for their bullying within the school. And we know that other parents have been treated dismissively at school sites other than Carver. We are facing declining enrollment in the district. And we are not a natural resource that you can just mine for $22,000 a year per kid. People can vote with their feet, and you will continue to hear of parents going to birthday parties, trying to get all the other parents to move all the children as a group to a different district. It's not the first birthday party where this has happened. It's not the second. It's just the most recent one, and I wasn't even at it, and it's spreading. This information is spreading. A principal can make or break a school. And what makes a good principal? The school is full. The school has low staff turnover. The students and their families are happy and smiling, like at Nixon. They meet that criteria. And not a small number of students and Carver teachers have moved there in the last couple of years. Let me remind you, I can open my kids' kindergarten yearbook and count on one hand the number of teachers that are still there. The rest are not there. You can say it's a trend, it's everybody moves, what yada, yada, yada. Go count all the other original teachers from 6 years ago at the other elementary schools, please. You can see the statistic. At Juarez, the children are happy. It's a gem. They come to the declining enrollment committee, and they say, and they advocate for their school. Their school may be small, but it's loved and it's well run. And that's why I want to put sunshine as a disinfectant on this. because I think the rest of the board needs to hear this and the community needs to hear this. The principal bullied my daughter. She routinely leaves disciplinary meetings with students crying. Even yesterday, the principal sidled up to this child and said, I wouldn't have to want to send you back to your home school. That's pretty ominous for a small kid who spent her entire time at one school, isn't it? The child has either done something that deserves suspension or removal or hasn't. But you don't threaten a child like that. She has also threatened my child, saying, your teacher tells me you won't do a classroom job. What makes you think you're so much better than the other students that you don't have to do that? Think about the shamingness of that statement. Think about it. Would you want your child to be spoken to that way? They didn't even ask. They didn't even ask. And this principal knew my daughter was diagnosed with anxiety. And she instigated an anxiety attack in my child where my child sobbed and moaned and scratched her legs and wanted to fall on the ground. And the MHP was the one who had to say, please, I don't think this child can answer any more questions. If your very junior intern colleague has to turn to you and say, please stop, what kind of principal are you? Maybe the board doesn't want to hear this, but this same principal was chased out of Willow 18 years ago. Maybe you did not know that. I have to speak out. Thank you.
Next, we have Stephen Sodders, followed by Frank Yokoyama.
Board members, members of the community, teachers, everyone, thanks so much for coming out. I wanted to briefly make a comment relating to declining enrollment. At prior meetings, it's been said that part of the issue is that districts are not releasing students in the same numbers they have been, and that's one of the factors that limits our ability to attract new students. I know that's the case. I wanted to point out that if one has a relative in the district, you know, it is not unheard of for someone to say, I live at my grandma's house, my aunt's, my uncle's, somewhere, to get a utility statement. This sort of thing is, it's an open secret. These things happen. People are also able to rent, you know, within the district. I know there's not, you know, a plethora of open rental units, but it is the case that if people wish to come to the district, there are ways to make that happen. And so I think that, again, I'd like to recommit to doubling down on the things that are excellent. I would like, again, love to shout out to Nixon and shout out to Aloha, shout out to Nimes. Like, there's a lot of places where they're doing things. Nimes has got high enrollment. They've got, you know, like a dual immersion program that's like attracting people, like a world-class like thing. Like, we could make every elementary school Nimes. It doesn't have to be the highest testing school to bring in people and create a sense of community. So I just want to briefly say, let's double down on the things we're doing well, because there's some really, really beautiful things happening in the district. And I think if we double down on those, we could mitigate part of the problem of student loss. I wanted to address some policies that we brought up in the December meeting and just sort of bring them up. I'm so glad everyone made it to the Blue Ribbon Award at Carver. I was not able to make it. I made a promise to another teacher and could not make it. But I wanted you to know that the students that you saw and, you know, got to, you know, hang out with, great students, they achieved a great thing. At lunchtime, they have individually assigned seats. That means if they're not seated next to their friend or friends, they can't socialize with them during, like, you know, between 15 and 20 minutes when they're sitting down. The students you saw have one spot they're required to sit at. And if they want to get up to use the restroom or throw away their trash or get a drink of water, they have to get the attention of a noon supervisor and then ask permission to do that. So the students that you're celebrating are you know, enduring a regime that is, even if it was happening at a school with bigger discipline issues, I'd say no kid should have to sort of live with that level of regimentation, especially in their off time. But that's the reality, and we brought it up at the school site level. We brought it up at different levels in the district, and I'm just saying we've brought it up, and it has not been addressed. Water bottles. There is a state law that allows students to carry water bottles, and at my daughter's first classroom, they couldn't bring them into the class. They were outside the class and needed to ask permission. Even in August, even during the heat wave, they had to ask permission to go do so. And it was clear that they were, not a favored thing to do. You're trying to stay in, your teacher wants you in class, and I get that. But students effectively were choosing not to drink water, even during a heat wave. And so even though it might technically comply with the letter of the law that they could ask to go to get it outside of the classroom, it certainly doesn't comply with the spirit of the law that wants students to have access to a basic need, which is water. In terms of the restroom, my daughter's current classroom, also at Carver, she gets the students there, my daughter's got a doctor's note, but all the other students in class get one restroom pass a month. Think about that. If it was a workplace and your boss said to you, outside of a 15-minute break and 30 minutes at lunch, you can use the restroom one time. You couldn't do it. It's against the law. If we were paying these students, it would be illegal to require that restroom regime, and if they use more than that one pass, they've got to pay classroom tickets. So I'm saying those were lovely students, but they're enduring a system and a situation where they're not able to use the restroom freely. And we've brought it up. So to whatever degree you're able to address this at Carver, but also across the district, I know this is not the standard at most schools, and I would like, again, for the good policies that exist at other schools to exist at all schools. There's so much that's done well and done right in the district. I would love for that to be regularized. I know I'm in the last minute. I'd hoped... Reading Club and Math Olympics real quick. At some schools, they allow wide participation, and then the kids who can participate on the day are selected based on factors. It's the equivalent of like being on a team, and then game day, some people are on game day, some people are bench warmers based on performance. That makes sense to me. At Carver, it was limited to just the 14 top students. I know of a friend of my daughter's who really wanted to be on Reading Club, and she was excluded, not on the basis of her race. Although if she were here today, it would be rather ironic that this friend during Black History Month was not allowed to participate in Reading Club, but she wasn't allowed to, and other students aren't allowed to because they limit it to the top 14 students and don't allow wide participation. Thank you all so much. Thank you all really for what you're doing. I really do appreciate you. Thank you.
Our last public comment is Frank Yokoyama.
Thanks, Clerk Noyola. President Say, Vice President Nishi, Board Member Beach, Board Member Eugenio, Board Member Yu, Board Member Rios. And again, thank you, Clerk Noyola. Dr. Zitlo and Danielle, thank you. I'm Cerritos Council Member Frank Yokoyama. Proud ABC alum, but I'm even a more proud dad of an ABC alum. My daughter's succeeding at UC Davis because of her ABC education. Proud ABC high school dad of my son, and I'm also a proud uncle of my 4 nieces and nephews who are going to 4 different ABC schools. And I just wanted to thank all of you of our ABC school board for serving the over 18,000 ABC students and their families with your heads and your hearts. Thank you. What I wanted to say today was I'm excited. Some of you know because I've talked to you. I'm excited that all of our high schools are being represented in the CIF basketball playoffs. And I'm looking forward to attending the games of our, as many of the games as I can of our 4 high schools who are starting the CIF basketball playoffs on Wednesdays for the boys and for Thursday for the girls. It's exciting to see the games. Maybe I'll see some of you guys there. And it's just it's an exciting thing that in addition to the top top-notch, award-winning education that our kids get at our high schools, we're also succeeding in sports, as seen by our CIF Southern Section Championship football team. So just wanted to wish all of our high school basketball teams good luck in the start of the CIF basketball playoffs this week. One more thing I wanted to say is I wanted to keep supporting girls flag football in our high schools. I don't want ABC School District to fall behind the other districts in the area, in the state, in the country that are promoting this sport of inclusion for all of our girls who can have a fun competitive sport in our ABC high schools. Girls flag football, I think it's going to enrich their high school experience in the ABC schools, and I think it's going to provide our girls opportunities also at the college level. So again, please consider in your plans for the future of ABC sports, girls flag football. And all of you know, I don't have a daughter in high school. I don't have a daughter in the schools. It's because it's just a great sport, and I think our girls up and down from elementary, middle to high school in our ABC schools will benefit from girls flag football in our ABC high schools. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great night.
Thank you. Do you have any more?
No, it's not.
Okay. If none, may I have a motion to approve this consent item, consent calendar? I need a motion and second.
So moved,
Or-
Nishi.
Second.
Okay. Is anyone who wishes to remove any item to be considered separately? Do we have any? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 7-0. Action items.
Madam President?
Yes.
May
Oh, I
I
saw you.
move action item 1.3A to the front?
1.3.
Just because we have some students here that it's getting kind of late.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any discussion on this matter? Board member move that item forward. I need a second for this move forward. Second? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye?
All agree, so that's motion passed 7-0. Go ahead, Ms. Nishi. Which one are we talking about now? Let me read it down.
Item 3.1A.
Item 3, huh? 3 point, this one? Yeah. Okay, so, may I have motion to approve community member and student appointments to Board Advisory Committee. I need a motion and second.
So moved, Nishi.
Second.
Okay, so I will have Dr. Hinu, please introduce your appointee to the School Facility Capacity and Decline Enrollment Ad Hoc Committee.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to introduce my appointee for the School Facilities Declining Enrollment Committee, Ms. Angel Lagoria. Ms. Lagoria has 4 children attending various schools in our district. She has been an active member of the ABCUSD community spanning 11 years, which includes membership in PTA, the Executive VP for Cerritos High School's Football Booster Club, and was on the interview panel for the Director of Curriculum and Professional Learning. Ms. Lagoria, would you like to come up and say a few words?
Good evening, everybody. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Dr. Eugenio, for this opportunity. I'm excited to serve on a great committee. I did attend the meeting last month, and it was really exciting. So I'm super honored to be here to do that. Like Mr. Eugenio said, I have 4 kids. I actually have had my 4 students been within, I think, 7 of our schools in the district. So I know a lot about our little areas and whether it's south side, north side. So I'm excited to be here. But I also wanted to share a little spoiler alert, if I can, for flag football. Our Cerritos Dons are actually going to be hosting some of the girls flag football with the Chargers from the Snoop League. So we will be definitely pushing that, and hopefully we can get it in our schools because, we want some more champions. Thank you guys so much.
Okay, next one will be board member, actually the Vice President, Mr. Nishii, introduce his appointee and alternate appointee to the School Facility Capacities and Decline Enrollment Ad Hoc Committee. Mr. Nishii.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to introduce Mr. James Giordano. He's the past president of LEAP. He's brought many programs to Lille, Boy Scout leader, former AYSO referee, planning commissioner, 3 kids in the district, financial planner, so he knows about money. And when I decided to run for school board, he didn't laugh uncontrollably. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Jim Giordano, my friend.
Thank you. You can never have too many people publicly claim to be your friend, so I appreciate that. I've done a lot of different things for the school district. This will be one more. So happy to serve as best I can, and thank you for the opportunity. Ernie already took all the good lines. I got 3 kids that have gone through ABC, 2 are still in high school. 1 is successfully navigating college at University of Washington. And as much as I may have done, my wife's been right behind me doing at least as much. So thank you. It's a great school district, and thank you all for what you do to make it so.
Thank you.
Madam President, I'm also proud to announce this has been a difficult committee. My previous committee member did attend every single meeting, but it's a challenging committee. So I realized that I must have also an alternate for this particular position. So I have selected Sophia Cibrian. She is a Whitney High School junior. She's a volunteer at the Discovery Cube in Santa Ana, active neighborhood watch, ensuring that we're all safe. Did DOT compliance at a trucking company. And I'm not sure if this is a good thing, but aspires to be an attorney. So I'd like to introduce Ms. Sophia Cibrian.
Thank you, Mr. Nishi, for allowing me to be part of this committee. And I have been in the ABC district for 12 years as a student, so I am very excited to be part of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you. The next one is our board member, Mrs. Yu, to introduce your appointee to the School Facilities Capacity and Decline Enrollment Ad Hoc Committee. Mrs. Yu.
Thank you, President Say, and I am very, very proud of our ABC district for engaging the community with to this very important ad hoc committee, because this is not something that's happening just in our ABC, but more so throughout California. And so instead of waiting, we were proactive, and during my presidency is when we formed this ad hoc committee to engage the community and to have the discussion going. And it's a difficult discussion, but it's very needed discussion to engage all the stakeholders. And so we have to be prepared to make sure that our students, all of our students, have fair opportunity to get the best education. So I am pleased to introduce my appointee, Alexia Brands. She's an active community member of ABCUSD for 10 years and has a background in advocacy for parental rights and a current parent in this district. And as a Latina, she understands the demographic that may be directly affected, and she is willing to dedicate her time and learn the issues to improve what is best for our students and families. Go ahead, Alexia.
Hi, my name is Alexia, and me and my husband have 5 kids. We have raised
wonderful kids in this district. We are very proud of this district. I wasn't a part of the committee. I know it started back in May, so I'm definitely eager to learn and research and, see, understand all of the things that the committee has done in their work. I'm super excited for that. Also, I'm appreciative to Sue, you for nominating me or appointing me into this committee. As a parent, as a current parent in this district, I understand how this affects everybody. This affects every family, all teachers, staff. This really is something that we really have to be very cautious in what we're doing and take the time and understand what decisions and what research that we're doing. I remember 3 years ago when you guys had first put on to the board meeting as for you guys wanted to do the committee to start it up for decline enrollment. And one of the things that a few parents had mentioned or a few public comments had said was that they want to know why there's declined enrollment. Why do we have? I understand, projected decline enrollment, birth rates, and other things like a lot of people leaving California. But I think it's good to understand why there is a decline enrollment in our district. I know everybody's facing it, but I feel like every district is very unique, and I really would like to understand and know a little bit more about that. So I'm excited. Thank you again for appointing me. And I also agree with Mr. Frank Yabamoto. I hope I said that right. Because my eldest, my girls have played flag football, and they've been playing, Dad has been coaching them since 3rd grade. And it really does have a whole, you see their grades, you see their social skills go up. It really does help motivate these girls, and I think that would be a phenomenal asset to Cerritos. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do you have any public comment regarding this appointee here? If none, do you have any?
I do not see him.
Anything? What about my board colleague? Any discussion? If none, all in this favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes 7-0. Now we go back. Just cross it out. Okay. Go back to action item 1.2-8. May I have a motion to adopt resolution 23-17, acknowledging February 2024 as a Black History Month by honoring deepening our knowledge of the history and contributions of Black Americans and people of African descent.
So move, Nishi.
Second.
Dr. Zillow.
Thank you. I'm just going to take a brief moment to just review the resolution so you hear what the resolution is about. It says, whereas Africans were forcibly brought to American shores to be enslaved as early as the 17th century, and whereas Black Americans have subsequently faced systemic injustices of lynch mobs, segregation, racist attacks, discrimination, such as redlining and denial of basic fundamental rights, and whereas in spite of these injustices, many of which continue to exist today, Black Americans have made significant contributions to the economic, educational, political, artistic, literary, scientific, and technological advancements of the United States. And whereas National African American History Month, also known as Black History Month, had its origins in 1915, when historian and author Dr. Carter G. Woodson founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. And whereas Black History Month in February celebrates the contributions that Black Americans have made to American history in their struggles for freedom and equality and deepens our understanding of our nation's history. And whereas Presidents Ford, Carter, Reagan, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden have issued presidential messages and proclamations recognizing the significance of National African American History Month by urging all Americans to recognize the important contributions made by African Americans to American life and culture. And whereas the United States has similarly passed laws and adopted resolutions since 1986 to recognize the significance of contributions made by Black Americans. And whereas the Library of Congress, National Archives and Records Administration, National Endowment for the Humanities, National Gallery of the Arts, National Park Services, Smithsonian Institution, and United States Holocaust Memorial Museum all join in paying tribute to the generations of African Americans who struggled with adversity to achieve full citizenship in American society. And whereas Black History Month is a time for us to continue our collective journey of honoring, deepening our knowledge of the history and contributions of Black Americans and people of African descent that have been marginalized from mainstream curricula and discussions because of our country's legacy of slavery and institutional and structural racism. And whereas the ABC Unified School District is committed to valuing diversity and believes deeply that equity, respect, and justice are central to the character of who we are, to the health of our democracy, and to the well-being of our world. And whereas at ABC Unified School District, it is our hope that during this month of recognition and celebration of Black Americans and their contributions made to this country, that we will help to disrupt manifestations of anti-Blackness sentiments in our communities and in our schools. And now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education celebrates Black History Month in the month of February 2024.
Thank you, Dr. Zitlow. Any public comments?
No.
Any discussion from a colleague here? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion passed 7-0. Now we'll go to item 1.4-A. May I have motion to approve application for education of homeless children and youth, which is initial for EHCY grant program for 2024 to 2025 school year. I need motion and second.
Motion approved, Eugenio.
Second, Nishi.
Thank you, Mr. Nguyen.
Thank you, Board President Say. We are asking for approval to applying for the grant to support our school services program. It will be a $25,000 grant should we receive it. It will be used for the 2024 to 2027 school year.
Thank you for your, give the report on that. We miss your voice. Any public comments?
I do not see any.
Thank you, sir. Board discussion? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 7-0. 1.5-A, may I have a motion to approve request to contract with the Parker and Colvett LLP to serve as counsel for student exposure hearing on an as needed base for the 2023 to 2024 school year. I need a motion and second.
Motion approved, Eugenio.
Thank you, Mr. Nguyen.
Thank you. Our general counsel has been approved by the board is AALRR, and they have represented us on cases, expulsion cases with the county, Los Angeles County Office of Education. There's a case that going to the county that there's a conflict because they also represent the county, so they have to release themselves from this case. So we need counsel. So they have recommend Parker and Culver to represent the district in this particular case to the county. So we asking for the board for approval with Parker and Culver.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any public comments?
I do not see any.
Any board discussion?
Just a good firm.
Oh, just, okay, thank you. If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0. Next one, 3.4-A, may I have a motion to approve request to contract with the Los Angeles County Office of Education, Nutrition, and Wellness Program to provide Hawaiian elementary school students a 5-workshop series focused on health and nutrition for the 2023 to 2024 school year. Motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Castro.
Thank you. This is a presentation of monthly workshops that it includes informative presentations, interactive activities, and even cooking demonstrations for our families, parents, and students at Hawaiian Elementary on a monthly basis, moving forward for the remainder of this school year.
Thank you, Dr. Castro. Any public comments?
I do not see any.
Any discussion from my colleague here? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 7-0. 3.5-8, may I have a motion to approve request to contract with the school yard rep LLC to provide in-person assemblies for school sites and a district-wide community showcase production focused on the culture and ethnic diversity of American culture for the 2023 to 2024 school year. I need a motion and second.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Castro?
Yes, we are excited to present this offering for our schools in ABC with Schoolyard Wrap. In the fall of 2023, a number of our schools, and including our own board clerk, Mr. Noyola, went to Nokia Theater to see Schoolyard Wrap perform a cultural production entitled Soy Asombroso. And it was really a celebration of culture and diversity. And so instead of sending our students out again and busing them all the way to Nokia Theater, we have asked this company to come to ABC to provide these sessions at various school sites, and then to also have a culminating district-wide community showcase production for our parents and students.
Thank you, Dr. Castro. Any public comments?
I do not see any.
Okay, I have two board members for discussion on board, three. First one is Vice President Mr. Nishii.
I just thank you for the report and the information related to this. It looks like it's really exciting. I know that it's not cheap, but it's part of the investment that we've made and commitment we've made, and we need to not just say that we're going to be supporting Black History Month, but we actually have to do it. And this is one of those things where I saw that there's a team of people. It's a large positive effort for not just one, but many, many children to exercise and see something that looks like it's amazing, and I would like to get an invitation to go. Thank you.
Next one with our board clerk, Mr. Noyola.
Thank you, President Say. I just also wanted to thank Mr. Blaine Watson for inviting me to the presentation at Nokia Theater. This performance was, it was a great performance that celebrated, not just African American culture, but also Latino culture, and then the mix between like the Afro-Latino heritage. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity for kids to know that, that we have so much more in common that we actually believe and are led to believe, especially if we go back in our history. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next one's our board member, Dr. Rios.
Yeah, quickly, it's been a pleasure to watch this group perform at a variety of events that I've attended as a board member. I think there were a CSBA event and a variety of events. They deliver a very important message in a super engaging way, and so I think that our students will really enjoy participating, as well as I'm glad it's open to the community as well. Wonderful to hear. They like Board Clerk Noyola, so I can invite. Thanks.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 The motion passed 7-0. Next one's a 4.1-8. May I have a motion to approve bid award ABC 1638 roofing at their different sites to Best Contracting Services and Daniel, I think Lettner Incorporation DBA. Lettner Roofing Company is the lowest responsible bidders. May I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Mr. Nguyen.
Thank you so much. We have a need to replace roofing at 3 of our schools. Almost $4 million plus the 10% allowance. We went out to bid. We are very fortunate to receive 8 bids. Usually we don't have this many bidder in this market, so we are pleased to recommend to the board to award a contract to Best Contract for Ross and Cerritos, and Leonard for Carver for the roofing replacement to happen this summer.
Do we have any public comments, sir?
I do not see any.
Okay. Now back to our board. I have Vice President Mr. Nishii on the dot.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, thank you to Joshua Cox and Tuan for getting good bids on this. They're all very close, and that's what we look for when we get a bid. That means they understood the bid. And I like also the source of funds, the deferred maintenance fund, not just not our BB fund, which is like paying for groceries, but it's important that it comes from the deferred maintenance, that we are actually using the other funds that we have, not just the bond funds, on something that's important like roofing. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion passed 7-0. 4.2-A, may I have a motion to approve bid award ABC 1639 HVAC at Artesia High School, the gymnasium HVAC is back, to AT Construction Group, DBA Air Plus Allures, responsive and responsible bidder. I need a motion and second.
You in a second?
Thank you, Mr. Nguyen.
Thank you.
You're busy today.
I'm looking at Dr. Rios. This has been long, I don't want to say overdue. We were trying to do it last year. We were not able to get competitive bidders, so we have purchased the systems. We're ready to install them at the gym at Artesia High School. We are pleased to have 3 competitive bidders for this bid, and we're excited to install HVAC in the gym at Artesia High School. After the Measure BB renovation, all of our high schools will have HVAC. Gym, all of our high schools gym, where you have HVAC in the classrooms, the gyms. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I have a 2 board member on the dock here, which is number 1 is Dr. Rios.
So my daughter played volleyball, and she graduated in 2017. So sitting through those games in that very hot gymnasium was, fun memories. And yes, it has been a long time coming, so I'm I'm almost afraid to celebrate because it's like, okay. But I'm super excited to see it on the agenda today and that it is moving forward. Thank you, Tuan, for your work.
Thank you. Next one is our Vice President, Mr. Nishii.
Yeah, same. I want to say thank you to staffs, Joshi Cox and both of you, for getting bids that are very close and competitive. And that's a very good mark of a good RFP that was sent out, that people understood the bids. And also separate and apart from that, I'm glad also you used the BB funds, because this is exactly where the BB funds should be used for. Improvements of our schools, making things better. And that's just, that is why we knocked on doors and did this for us. So thank you for choosing the appropriate fund, and thank you for being a good steward of our funds.
Thank you very much. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion passed 7-0. Now it's our board member reports. Wow, fast. Dr. Hino.
Thank you, Madam President. The last couple of weeks, I contributed to a couple of fundraisers to satisfy my sweet tooth. I contributed to Elliott Elementary School's Seas Candy fundraiser and contributed to Cerritos High School's football and baseball teams fundraisers and enjoyed the Double Good brand popcorn. On January 23rd, I attended the Strategic Planning Board Advisory Committee meeting. Thank you, Dr. Castro, Ms. Sasha Leandro, and Ms. Triana Marbury for the informative presentation on AP courses provided in our district. On January 27th, I took my wife to the show and watched the musical Catch Me If You Can at Grace Hugh Auditorium. I'd like to congratulate all those involved for putting on a great show. I can't imagine the amount of hours that went into planning, the rehearsals, the memorization of lines and dance moves that went into making of the show. The choreography by Ariel Improta was amazing. The direction of John Zamora was superb. And the musical direction of Aaron Al-Imam was outstanding. The amount of talent in our staff and students here in ABCUSD never ceases to amaze me. Great work, everyone. Lastly, I'd like to wish everyone a happy and safe Lunar New Year this weekend. May God bless you all and keep you well. Madam President.
Thank you, Dr. Eugenio. Next one, the board member, Mr. Beach.
Thank you, Madam President. I attended the Finance and Audit Committee meeting and got some gloom and doom news from Mr. Nguyen. I appreciate that always, about the California budget. Attended a Watchdogs meeting, the Carver Blue Ribbon Ceremony, and that's our first Title I school that's achieved that status, so I want to commend them. I attended a 4th grade musical, the Gold Rush performance at Nixon. The students did a great job. And lastly, I'd like to thank Kirat Chauhan and all of the committee members from the School Facilities and Declining Enrollment Committee. They are volunteers, and they were given a tough job. I've received numerous emails about the 6 schools they requested more data on. I want to notify the community that I, and I think I speak for the rest of the board, are letting the committee gather their data and do their work and are waiting for a report. To date, no decisions have been made. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beach. Next one is board clerk, Mr. Noyola.
Thank you, President Say. This past month, I was able to visit our nutritional service department. I got to see where all the school lunches are made. And I can honestly say that we have a very dedicated staff, and above that, we have exceeded a lot of state standards and been ahead of the game as far as making fresh and nutritious food. So I just wanted to report out on that. And then the day after, I was able to visit our maintenance, operation, and transportation department. I got to see our new buses, get some updates on all the maintenance plans for the future, and I can honestly say I'm very impressed with all the work that our staff does. We do a lot of in-service things, and because of that, we can keep our schools running, and especially now with the rain, like Dr. Zitlo mentioned, like we have a very, very dedicated staff. Following that, I was able to visit Tetzlaff Middle School, where I got to see their band rooms and learn a little bit more about how they, stay competitive even at the high school level for a middle school. That Friday, I got to visit Cerritos High School, and I had the opportunity to actually sit in on one of our coaches for our admin team, and they were discussing how to implement our 4 academic pillars, and they were focusing with Mr. Walker on engagement that day. So we were going around the schools, talking to teachers to see how we can, engage our students so they feel more active in the classes. This morning, I got to visit Stowers Elementary School, and I got to, learn about their Mandarin classes, and I appreciate, again, their Mandarin teachers. They do work very hard, and there's not that many resources to have a Mandarin curriculum, so they create a lot of the stuff themselves, so they translate a lot of the homeworks, so they go above and beyond for those students. And last but not least, I did get to attend the Fedi Middle School Awards Night, and I'm proud to say that we had over 200 students this last semester with honors. And
Wow.
that concludes.
Thank you, Mr. Noyola. Next one is our Vice President, Mr. Nishii.
Thank you, Madam President. Try to be quick. I got to visit Ms. Fedi with Mr. Noyola, and Dandy was there, so that was interesting to just pop in to see them. Tetzlaff Awards, where we showed great students, Whitney Open House, Carver Blue Ribbon. We had NEMIS fundraisers and all kinds of stuff. So, but actually more important, I think I want to thank Dr. Castro, Dr. Christian Wise, Mr. Glonchak, and Dana Coleman for their efforts and extraordinary work in keeping and honoring our Black History Month, and also honoring all of our histories, talking about the resolution that we just passed about a deep commitment to equity and respect and justice. And so I'm going to quickly read from the same day in 1944. This is from my grandfather's diary, February 6th. At that time it was Sunday. And he, on that day, ate coffee, mashed potatoes, bread, and an orange. In the evening, we talked about conflicting opinions and confusion regarding the camp residents. We are already living in darkness during the daytime, so we must strive to chase the dark clouds away and move forward. If I reflect upon my position and come to the conclusion that I am on the right path, I should continue along that path, even if I'm faced with opposition from hundreds or thousands of people. My 3 months in stockade will take new meaning if my efforts should lead to a peace in camp. One roommate, Mr. Nakagawa, spoke about progressive ways of loving your fellow compatriots. I was even more impressed when I learned that he was only 22 years old. Such a young fellow. He came to the U.S. when he was 5. And that's kind of a message of what this country is about. This country is about learning to do things, opening your eyes and standing up for what we know is right, and that the youth will lead us, and the youth will be our future, as the motto for Hawaiian Gardens is our youth, our future. That's what our district is about, and this is what our staff is doing to teach our history deeply so that good things happen in our future. And that's what's great about our country. We can learn, we get the truth, we dig to the bottom of the facts, and we press on and make a better country. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Vice President. Next one will be our board member, Dr. Rios.
Thank you. And in addition to celebrating Black History Month and Chinese New Year, I also want to take a minute to recognize all our counselors. This is National School Counseling Week, and so I want to acknowledge the important work that they do to support the well-being of our students, and thank them for all the ways that they also support the site administrators, staff, the students, and the entire community. So thank you, and again, acknowledge them and their work.
Next one, board member Mrs. Yu.
Thank you, President Say. First of all, I just want to really applaud the group. I forgot the name of the group, the sorority. Yeah, that chapter.
Sororities.
Yeah, I mean, really applaud this group for bringing these books to our school, and that they're going to give these books as a gift. And I kind of, browsed through some of the books, and it seemed like it's excellent. And I wish I had the opportunity to read and study some of these books. And I wonder if our school district could even purchase these books in bulk and have children read, because studying history and just browsing through in few chapters of the history is not good enough, but to have stories at a young age. These books are excellent, and I wish, I want to buy some too myself. It's pretty easy reading. It's elementary level. But to know some of these figures who really made the sacrifice, and paved the road. It wasn't just Dr. Martin Luther King, but there were so many with him at that time who were so self-sacrificing, right, to be part of this kind of activist movement for the truth. It takes a lot. But look what happened to our country, right? So really, I want to say thank you so much. And ultimately, our children needs to learn history for what it is, not interpretation of history, but what happened. Just the fact. Just let the kids learn the fact, because the truth will prevail, whereas the propaganda and the trend and all this deception and manipulation of some of the news, it just taints the truth and the heroes who actually made the sacrifice. So in celebration of Black History Month, I think that all these people deserve to be remembered. Thank you. That is all.
Thank you. The group's called Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, and when they came today, they are the Cerritos area alumni chapter. And I invite them when I attending Cerritos celebrating Martin Luther King that day. They say they're going to donate the book. They were talking about it. And one of my colleagues, Professor Kimberly Walter Harris, and I spoke to her and said, hey, we need a book. So I said, how many are going to donate it to us? Quickly. He said, we're going to donate entire books in here. I said, okay, come on. So that's why they're here today. I want to thank them so much, so active, involved with us. And this is a perfect month for them to come. Now the announcements. Do you have anything here? No, right? Okay. Next regular board meeting, Tuesday, February 20, 2024 at 7 p.m. at our district office boardroom. Committee meetings, Diversity, Unity, Equity, Board Advisory Committee is on Thursday, February 15, 2024 at 6 p.m. District Office Boardroom. School Facility Capacity and Decline Enrollment Board Ad Hoc Committee will be on Wednesday, February the 21, 2024 at 6 p.m. District Office Boardroom. Next one, Finance Audit Board Advisory Committee, Thursday, February 22, 2024 at 6 p.m. in our District Conference Room. The next one is Strategic Planning Board Advisory Committee is on Tuesday, February 27, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. in the IT Tech Lab. The last one is the Legislative Policy Board Advisory Committee on Wednesday, February 28, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. District Conference Room. Please advise there is a date change for the Citizen Oversight Committee, which is on Tuesday, February 27 at 6 p.m. will be our district conference room. Now, there are a few things we need to remember. One is a town hall meeting, Wednesday, February 7, 2024, at Tisha DES Portuguese Hall at 6 p.m. And the other one is town hall meeting will be on Thursday, February 15, 2024, at C. Robert Lee Community Center at Hawaiian Garden at 6 p.m. Now we have two holidays here. One is the Lincoln Day holiday, February 12, 2024, and our President Day holiday, February 19, 2024. Okay. So now we are in the second public comment. Before I go into second public, I do want to say thank you to my colleague for you so much visit to all the district and the site visit. And this is part of our board role, and I want to appreciate it. I guess we have more, and definitely Daniel, Ms. Westman will be providing more information for coming events, so please keep input. Okay, the second public comment, Mr. Clerk Neola, do you have any?
Yes, President. We have
Thank you.
one public comment, Sarah Huerta.
Hi, good afternoon, Board. I wasn't really prepared to speak today, but I just wanted to give you a little food for thought about our school. My name is Sarah Huerta. I have been an Aloha parent for about 2.5 years. My oldest son has now moved on to Haskell, but my 6-year-old son is currently a first grader at Aloha. Every morning, it's a hassle to get everybody up and do the 2 drop-offs in the morning. But when we do, I see all the working parents trying to get their kids there early in the morning to make sure they get to their jobs on time. I myself, I work in the city of Long Beach, so drop off early is key to me to get to work on time with all of the 405 and 710 traffic. I have been part of Aloha for many years. My nieces attended Aloha. So I have about 14 years of attending, ceremonies, after-school programs, PTA meetings, or gatherings. And Aloha is very dear to me. Many of the students there, my son has made lots of friends. And every day when walking to the morning drop-off, he's saying hi to all these different kids of different ages. And, it warms my heart for him to be able to make friends of different grades. But the most important thing we need to keep Aloha open for is to help our community of minority students. Many of the parents that have students at Aloha are working class. Myself, we're a 2-parent working household. And it would be very difficult for us to get to drop-offs and pickups on time if we end up at a different school. All the schools that are listed are within a half mile of Pioneer Boulevard. So if they are either consolidated or closed, we would have to go far away for our schools. I myself would have to go to either the Palms or somewhere in Lakewood. And unfortunately, I'm not available to drive that extra couple of miles because I'm already pressed for time to get to work on time. It would be very difficult for other parents as well. In the morning, you see many parents walking, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles walking their kids to school. How would they get to school in the mornings if they have to move somewhere else? Don't just look at the enrollment numbers. Look at the actual logistics of it. A lot of parents walk their kids to school or, depend on their neighbors to get their kids to school. If the kids go to different schools and they live right next door to each other, how would they get there? They don't have their neighbor to drop them off anymore. Just please consider other aspects instead of just a declining enrollment when you consider possibly closing or consolidating schools, because closing Aloha would impact a large part of Lakewood and Hawaiian Gardens. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion and second to adjourn in the memory of Lucia Valdivia? Motion and second. Okay, thank you. Dr. Zillo, please.
Lucia Valdivia became the Migrant Education Academic Counselor for ABC Unified in 2020. Prior to this role, she had worked as an administrator and counselor in charter schools in the Los Angeles area. To know Lucia was to know grace. Lucia's grace was evident in every aspect of her life as she carried herself with poise and gentleness. She was a devoted advocate for students and truly loved connecting with them and their families. She approached her work with a humility that made her endearing to anyone she encountered. Those who had the privilege of working alongside her were inspired by her vision and proactive approach to counseling. She was always open, accepting, and genuinely embracing of her students and their experiences. The memories and impact of Lucia leaves behind on both students and colleagues are plenty and profound, and she will be truly missed.
Thank you, Dr. Zillow. Okay, now we're moving to adjourn. May I have a, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Moving to adjourn. Thank you. 7-2.
Of all the money that e'er I spent it in good company. And of all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass